Today I have 4 tips on making your health journey a little bit smoother, making those things that we know we should be doing a little bit easier to do. 4 tips for you. Stay tuned through the whole video. My first tip for you, drinking more water. We all know that we need to be drinking more water, whether you drink fruit juices or pop or you just drinking a small quantity of water. Good health is, we all know that drinking more water is related to good health. My tip to help you to drink more water is to, at the beginning of the day, fill a large container of whatever your goal is for your water intake for the day. If you're an adult, at the very least, you should be drinking a half gallon of water. If you don't have a condition that restricts your water intake, if you have a specific condition where you shouldn't be drinking a lot of water, then this is not for you. But anybody else, you should be drinking at the very least a half gallon of water, closer to 1 gallon of water as an adult. So filling that large container at the beginning of the day based off of your goal, you have that benchmark that you already set. And when you see the water getting lower and lower, it makes you feel like you're getting closer to your goal for the day, but also it just keeps it in your mind. And if you work a job, this makes it even more easier because you don't have to really think about, okay, how much did I drink so far and how much do I have to drink? How much do I have left to drink? When I used to work at a car factory, and it was a very high, it was very labor intensive. It was a car factory, so I had to make different components of the car. I worked there for 8 hours a day, and at the least I probably was there for about 9 hours if you take into accountability travel time, traveling there and back. I say it was a 9 hour work day. Before I really got big on my health journey, I had a 16-ounce water bottle, the standard water bottle that come if you got buy like a large package of waters. The standard water bottle is about 16 ounces. I would have that 16-ounce water bottle that I had with me throughout the whole day. And sometimes I would have water still in that bottle at the end of the day. And part of it was because I was thirsty, but I wanted to kind of stretch the water. Like I didn't want to have a time where I was thirsty and I didn't have water. And so this small water bottle I had for a whole 9 hour shift. Sometimes with stretching it out, I would still have some left by the time that I went home. And this is not 16 ounces for a labor intensive job. Working straight for 8 hours is not a good amount of water to be drinking. So I know on some level, even if you're not dehydrated, like if you don't show clear signs of dehydration, your body still can experience a form of dehydration if you're not putting enough water in your body. So keeping that larger jug as well as just larger containers, it makes you drink more water. When I had when you have the small 16-ounce bottle, that hole that you drink out of is like super small. But the bigger jug you get, the jug that I got after that was 40 ounces. So it was like, it was at least twice. It was more than twice the size of that water bottle I was drinking. And then the spigot was like a little bit bigger. The mouthpiece was a little bit bigger. The bigger the mouthpiece, the more water that you drink in, and naturally you'll drink more water. And then, like I said, having the larger water bottles to document or to just know what your goal is. So if your goal is to drink 1 gallon a day, you don't necessarily have to bring a gallon with you. But if you at least have like increments of, just say, 32-ounce water bottle. If you have a 32-ounce water bottle, you know that you have to drink 4 of those today. If you have a half-gallon water bottle, which is what I eventually got up to, is taking a half-gallon water to work versus the 16 ounces. And then I found that I was drinking the whole half-gallon. Now, it took me a little bit to get used to drinking that much water. So I'm not going to say like miraculously I just started drinking that much water. But gradually I would drink more and more water, just, sipping the water. And then, my thirst level went up a little bit. My thirst level went up a little bit in terms of like, hydration. And I would drink more water naturally. So I went from drinking a 16-ounce water bottle to a half gallon. So a half gallon is 64 ounces. I went to drinking 16 ounces to 64 ounces just by increasing the jug amount. And of course, I had to drink the water, but it made it easier for me to see that as my goal and to work towards that goal, because the jug I had was also clear, so it was easy for me to see, okay, I drank this much water, and I'm, about halfway through the shift, so I have this much more to go. So having that half gallon at work and then drinking more water at home, it really, this is when I was just starting, like, really on my, my fitness journey, like, years and years ago. And it really helped me to get that more water, like that increased water intake. So just using these small tips that can help to not really trick your mind, but just sometimes you trick your own mind into doing things that are not as good for you. Like when I was drinking that small water bottle, that is my first tip. Drink from a larger container, and then you'll naturally drink more water. My second tip for feeling fuller longer. I did a short video on how, even sometimes I forget, I have like different size plates in the house, and sometimes I'll make something like a wrap. I make and like a vegetable wrap or something. And then when you have a vegetable wrap or whatever you have, if you have a small quantity of food in a large plate, it makes you mentally feel like you're still hungry after you finish eating it. So just by switching to a smaller plate or a smaller container, you can naturally feel fuller. You can naturally feel more full with having that smaller container. Like, it's a mental thing. A lot of it is mental. It's not all even, about, like you desire to have more food. Sometimes it's mental, and you don't have to necessarily eat smaller quantities of food to eat healthier. Because my other tip for that feeling fuller longer is to eat more vegetables with your meals, or eat salads with your meals. Because if you ever go to a restaurant and you know how they bring you like salad and bread out first, well, sometimes when you eat that salad, like, you are already getting full before your food even comes. So eating more vegetables with your meals, it's the fiber in the vegetables that make you more full, and then the nutrient content is a lot more. It doesn't have those empty calories. Like, you ever feel like people can eat like you can eat a mountain of french fries, because they literally have the nutritional value in french fries is very low, if any, especially depending on what kind of french fries they are. It's very low, so you can eat a lot of them. Just like potato chips, it's very low, so you have to eat more to even, scratch the surface on getting, a specific nutrient that your body needs, if you can get it at all from that food. So eating on smaller plates or in smaller containers to help you feel fuller, but also increasing your vegetable or your fiber intake in the form of vegetables, leafy greens, and fruits, things like that. My third tip on making your health journey smoother is to bring your own lunch and snacks to work, or wherever you are on the go. So I started this when I was working at that same job. Invest in a lunch bag and invest in freezable ice packs. Like, I always had a lunch bag, and then these ice packs that you put in the freezer and then you take out to put in your lunch bag to keep your food cold. If you use the microwave, I don't know, some jobs have microwaves. I particularly like to bring just food that you can eat cold. So, if you want to bring a salad, you can, that's like the easiest thing to eat is a salad, because it doesn't have to be heated up, and you can keep it cold, and then when you're ready to eat it, you can just eat it. You don't need anything else but a fork to eat it. So definitely bring your own lunch and your snacks. So you're going to need to go grocery shopping, because when you have temptation around you and then you're hungry, you make bad decisions, even if you are disciplined enough to not make this decision otherwise. Like, if you had another, like, instead of going to a vending machine at your job and, they got candy bars and chips, and like, you super hungry, if you have a bag with, like some oranges or some, some other fruits or your salad in it, you might opt to eat that instead, just because you have it. You might be making bad health decisions just because of the convenience of it, is what I'm saying. So you have to make being healthier convenient, which is preparing yourself ahead of time. So bringing your own lunch, going grocery shopping for your own snacks, so you're not, stopping at every, any fast food joint that you can get some lunch, or going to the vending machine, or going, wherever you have to go to get some food. You'll already have your food, and then you'll have food that is best suited for your goals that you're trying to attain. My fourth and last tip is to find a place along your route, whether that's to your job or to your business or wherever you are generally in. Usually you have a specific place that you're going to every day. Most people, it's a job you're going to every day. So find at least one place along your route or in the vicinity of your job or your business or wherever you are that has healthier food options, can things that you can eat without, you falling off of your progress and what you've been doing. So I say in find at least one of these spots, not to rely on it, but things happen. So if for some reason you're not able to make your lunch that day, or if you run out of snacks that you bought, or whatever the reason is, for any reason that you're not able to make your food that day, or if you just really don't feel like it, you'll have a place that you know of that you can go to. Because when you're, en route, to wherever you're going or coming from, a lot of times you don't have much time to sit there and look up places like, okay, oh, this spot has this. So you want to know that ahead of time so you could be like, okay, I'm going to hit this spot on my way there, or I got my 30-minute or hour break, so I'll be able to get there in 5 minutes. Having that ahead of time can also help you to stay on track, because you have to be realistic about what you might run into. You might run into, like I said, a time where you can't make your own lunch, or bring your own food. It's probably a good situation if you have a job where they have like a refrigerator or something where you can store food and you'll have like a backup. But even then, I be hearing some people will eat your food. So I'm like I said, you just need to have a backup in case for emergencies. But the best thing is to prepare your own food and to have your own food with you. That will also save you money. That's all the tips I have for this particular video. It's a lot more things you can do. Those are the things that I thought about off the top of my head, the things that I actually did that helped me along the way. So I hope that these things can help you too.